All right.
recording.
Okay. Go ahead, Jessica. Go ahead. We shall begin with the bell ringer, for you are reserving or holding back your energy. You are holding back your energy for a reason at this time. Do you know?
Yes.
Yes. Would you like to explain how you know you are so energetic that you are able to pull it in and let it out, surround others with it, keep it inside? Would you like to explain how or what you know about this subject?
I never really thought of it as not or keeping it inside, but that makes sense because I think I'm worried about others feeling what I'm going through right now. I'm not sure what else to say on that.
You understand that you influence others by your energy and you do not wish to affect them in a negative way, correct?
Yes.
But you don't mind affecting them in a positive way, correct?
Of course.
And yet they are both humankind. They are both the same, you see. Whether they are positive, negative, happy, sad, whatever they are still energy and they deserve to come out and the others deserve to feel them. For if you are not being your complete self. You are being you are presenting. You are presenting yourself in a way you think will be accepted by mankind, by humanity. And yet you have not come to understand yet that they accept you as you are, whether you're dark, happy, sad, or whatever. You have not come to trust that mankind loves you just the way you are. Do you understand what we mean?
Yes, because I've never seen that from my own experience.
Yes. So you don't know what it looks like. And the others that are gathered here will greatly and easily show you what you look like, because they are all a reflection of you. So as you expose yourself, whether it is good or bad, you will be held in a place of love, and you will come to understand that no matter how you show up, you are a perfect human being. Things get messed up on the earth because other humans tell you must look a certain way, talk a certain way, and behave a certain way for you to fit in. And yet the ones making up the rule that tell you these things, they have never fit in either. So they are also pretending to be something they are not. But they didn't tell you this. They spoke with such assertion that you came to understand it as a rule, not to be questioned. So this is why you're not able to freely allow every kind of energy that's within you, for all of the energy is blessed. Just as you are a blessed being, allowing it to pass through you. Anything that passes through you is blessed. It's not for your mind to judge. For this other discussion is about minds judging one another, even though truly inside they don't feel this way. What we mean is the humans who set the rules up for you weren't able to follow them themselves, as no human is. No human is really able to be happy and positive all the time. There are all kinds of emotions mixed up with your human life. They are all energy, and especially for you as an a highly energized being, you must let them all come out, or you block them all. When you block one, you block them all. For they come to understand, oh, they're going to judge us first to say whether we're allowed out. We're not going to flow freely. So now you're building a dam up, you see, of stopping emotions. And when you stop the one that you think others will not like, depressed a little bit, when you stop that, all the others clog up behind it. And pretty soon you have a dam built and your energy is clogged, and that's the last thing you want. For you wish to be energetically free. So in order for you to be energetically free and allow your energy out and for you to play with it, for you to heal others, for you to affect others energetically, for you to think of them across the world and they will think of you, all of this is the other side of allowing all the emotions to flow. You don't get one without the other. Do you understand this message?
Yes. It's funny when you say you don't get one without the other, because it felt like this weekend I was in a whole new level that I've never been in a positive way. And then Tuesday hit and I went complete opposite.
Yes. It's the joy of living your human life. You're starting to get the hang of it. Both are energy. High up, high down. Both, but free to move. High up, high down. When you cap either one, you live a half life. You live a half existence. And we will ask you precisely so the others may hear, is the most important thing for you to allow energy to pass through you and love, which is the same thing, to others in mankind? Is this your highest goal?
Yes.
We have worded it in a slightly different way, but it's the crux of the matter. If we were to precisely say, or you may say it whatever way you like, and we'll repeat it back to you, but we will repeat it in that way. Your highest calling is to allow energy to pass through you unencumbered. For you know that it's love that's passing through you. You know you're not passing negative things in and out of you. So you wish to be a clear channel for love. Do you?
Yes. But when you're feeling those negative emotions, I know I'm so sensitive to others' emotions. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me.
To allow others to see it. This is what you mean?
Yes.
So you wish to hide in your room and allow them to come out. And as you may do this, as long as no one enters the space, as long as you're able to stay in your room and allow them to flow freely without you judging them, there's something wrong with me. I shouldn't feel like this. I'm better than this. My life is all right. What is wrong with me? As long as you don't judge it like this. Do you judge it like this?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes. So that slows it down again, like the dam. If you're able to sit in your room and cry your eyes out just straight, everything's awful, terrible, 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 it will pass. You're not going to stay in there for years and years. You're going to stay in there for moments and moments. It's the judging that pushes it down. It's the not allowing it to flow freely that causes the energetic blocks. We will speak just for a moment on energetic blocks, for you understand this, what we mean by this. You yourself have experienced energetic blocks that you are familiar with?
Yeah.
Do you like to express where the energy gets blocked?
I'm sure there's many areas and the energy gets blocked.
Where do you feel it that you dislike so much?
Probably my heart when I really think about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And what is your most precious part of your very being? It is this heart, you see.
Yeah.
Your heart is your most precious gift to mankind. And it's also where your energetic blocks occur. This is no coincidence that these are both found in the same area. They are highly prized by you, for you understand what they are capable of. You yourself are capable of great things. It's only these voices from far past that slow you down from offering your gift to others. Do you understand what we mean?
Yeah, I've had those voices come up a lot the last couple days.
If you're able to go back further, can you recall the truest, highest voice that you've ever heard before you took your first breath? Do you recall this at all? We will remind you, shall we?
Okay.
Before you took your first breath, were the true voices that you heard. That you are a precious being, coming into mankind as a brave soul, coming in with the hope that you will make a difference in the planet, that you will allow love to flow through you freely to the others, all of those crying out in pain. You wish the love to flow through you. You thought, I will do this. I will be one who makes a difference in mankind, for I know how loved I am. I'm coming from a place of love. I am a precious being going into mankind with other loving, precious beings, just like me. And I will make a difference. That's the only voice you need to hear now. It's your truest, highest voice. It has no emotion, no ego, no mind. It's just the straight truth about you. Do you like the sound of that?
Yeah, it puts me at ease.
Don't forget the truth. Humans can be great liars. They don't mean to be, but they often are. You know the truth now. Is that good for you? Or terrible? Whichever one, really.
Yes, thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Aaron, may I ask a related question to that?
Yes, you may.
I was just thinking about what you're saying about letting energy to pass through. And I thought, well, sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I just feel like I'm in a more negative space. I'll feel grumpy or irritable and I don't necessarily know why, but it's just a mood or an emotional state that I'm in at a particular time. So one option would be to judge it and say, okay, this is not good. Let's try to change my attitude. So I consciously try to move out of that space. Or the other attitude would be, so just let it move through. It's all the same, good, bad. Don't judge it, let it go. And just let it be whatever it'll be. So you run the risk of spending the rest of the day in a miserable space. If we don't, I think that's the way I'm thinking, is if I don't try to do something to change it, then I would just stay in that state of not being happy about things. So both answers seem right, though, from what you're saying.
Judging it is never right. Judging it is always the ego and the mind. Mostly someone else has told you this. For small children, they will cry easily or yell or pull their hair out. They have no concern with this yet because their egos are not developed and they've not heard it over and over from other humans. Don't cry. Don't yell. Don't be angry. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't live. This is truly what, the end of the day, that's what that message means. Don't live as a human being. For human beings are always angry, sad, happy, all of it, all of the time. because you're emotional beings. So the judging is never correct. Well, you can do it if you like. It's your human time. Do whatever you want with it. But it does not move you energetically. It does not raise your vibration. It does not bring you closer to love or other humans or the universe of love, the energy. So you may, of course, slow that down if you wish. That's absolutely up to you. But what we say is there's nothing wrong with being sad. Nothing wrong. Cry or whatever you're going to do about it. Go stand in your shower. Let all of your tears run down. Just allow it to pass through you. It's only energy. The judgment of it stops it. Don't cry. So now it stops. Where does the sadness go? Do you just say, go away? Just go away, sadness. Does it just disappear? Or does it sit somewhere inside of you, waiting for the next moment that it's able to come out? And if it's never able to come out and more sadness and anger piles on top of it, then it becomes a blockage, which you are aware of. And then you have disease. That's what happens to your sadness. That's what happens to your judgment. It stays inside of you because it's energy. Energy wants to move. It does not want to be suppressed or judged. It just wants to pass through. Now you're going to ask about anger. It's absolutely fine. Just stay by yourself and don't hurt anyone else. All of the emotions are fine because they're part of your human experience. That is why you have a physical body. You're interested in emotions. That's why you're there. Otherwise, you just go on off and be in non-physical. But if you're interested in human life, a lot of it is emotions.
Well, I think about emotions being related to an experience. So you can have an experience, it could even be imagined experience or a perceived experience in the case of somebody having anxiety. But you're relating to this experience and then you're having a physical, so the emotion is a byproduct of processing that experience mentally.
But it's also a judgment of the experience, whether it's imagined or real. If you're able to stand back from an experience and say, oh, I see something's happening. Oh, look at this. This is not going to end well. This is going to be a disaster. Still stepping back and watching it is different from being in the middle. Oh, something terrible is going to happen. You see the difference? It's the same event, but it's how you perceive it. It's what you are speaking of. If you're able to step back from it, you are coming to understand that this is not happening inside of you. This is an event that's happening in front of your face. So you may just look at it and not say that is bad, that is good. It's the same judgment. This feeling is good or bad. This experience is good or bad. This interaction is good or bad. Always the judgment. You do this all day long. Do you know what we mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it's a matter like I said, it's part of the ego, I guess, of processing what happens to you. Is this something acceptable? Do I need to how should I react to survive in the sense, right?
Perfectly worded. But is your time of your life on your planet a time of survival? Are you the caveman? No, you're not. You see, it's an old pattern that's kept with you. You don't have to survive anymore. You're absolutely fine. And even if you're not fine, if you stand back from it and can see it coming at you, you may easily move aside from it. If you're caught up in some emotional entanglement with it's going to be bad, it's going to be terrible, it's going to be very terrible because you're not even involved in it. You're not even conscious. You've left already. You see? So there's no part of you now that's watching in curiosity, non-judgment, just curious. Oh boy, this is going to be bad, or this might be wonderful. You don't really know until the event comes right to the moment that you're in. Because the rest of it is only guessing. You're only guessing if it's good or bad. It could have a surprise ending. You know what we mean by this?
Yeah.
You absolutely don't know how things end. It's your judgment or your reaction to it. And you've got it when you said your ego. Your ego's always trying to stay one step ahead. to keep you safe, just exactly as you said. But you are not in survival mode anymore. It's not the time of surviving. The dinosaurs are going to eat your head off. It is not this time any longer. Now it's a time for you to become aware, to step back, to watch what's unfolding in front of you, to allow energy to go into you and out of you, to allow life to unfold. It's a much different time you're in. You're a time where you're capable of allowing. You are capable of setting your ego aside once you realize my ego is only trying to keep me alive. But you know what? I think I'll take a break from my ego for a while and see what happens. Just a curiosity like this. Just a curiosity will change everything for you. You don't have to then say ego is bad, because that's not going to work. Ego is good, ego is bad, more judgment, it's not going to work. But maybe I'll set it aside and try this other thing and see how it turns out. Maybe I'll stand back and watch. Maybe someone else will step forward. Maybe something will change, just maybe. Do you like this word, maybe?
Mm-hmm. It has hope.
It also brings your ego straight out of it without your ego noticing. It barely noticed that it's been set aside because it's done so gently. It's not an aggressive act. It's not an overtaking. It's a gentle step aside. I'm curious about this other thing. Let's go check it out for a moment. Your ego must be dealt with. It's not going anywhere. But it doesn't have to be dealt with. We don't mean it in this physical, aggressive way. We mean it must be noticed, must be acknowledged. Aren't you wonderful? But now I won't need you for a few minutes because I'm going to go investigate this flower that's growing here, something like this, something easy like this. How does that sit with you?
Well, it sounds like a very cerebral approach to events that happen to you, if you can be that unemotional and observant, I guess, as opposed to emotionally reacting to something. So
yes.
I'm trying to think, like, I don't know, if somebody you're walking down the road at night and somebody jumps out and tries to threaten you with a knife and rob you, and one option is to say, well, he might just change his mind and it'll be fine. But I'm going to feel fear from being threatened and have an emotional reaction to that of fear, I'm sure.
That is the moment that will save your life. That's the one instance where when you feel fearful, you will save your life. But you may do it by stepping back and seeing what's coming at you completely. Is there another one? Is there a weapon here? Is there a group? Is there someone behind me? Stepping back just for a moment. Now, you are also speaking of in the moment. And this is absolutely fine, But it's worrying about a moment that may or may not happen. This is what causes anxiety in humans. The thinking this might happen, that is something terrible is going to happen. I don't know which thing, but then the anxiety comes from there. It's a different scenario than actually fending for yourself in a moment. And if you are aware in that moment, you will have already seen some shadow, some noise, something will be off. You see, your instincts will click in. And in that moment, you will survive by being present and in the moment. Do you understand?
Yep. I'll give you another example of maybe anger then. Like, I don't know, maybe just making something up. You're cooking dinner and you drop something on the floor and the dish shatters and food goes flying all over the kitchen, and you're pressed for time and now you have to make another meal and kids are unhappy, whatever. I mean, you can make a whole scenario out of that, but essentially something happens that's a surprise event. It's not necessarily threatening you, but it makes you angry because now you have a whole many more things that you have to do to deal with it that you didn't anticipate. So
by the way you're speaking, you're understanding how you make the anger go on and on and on. When the thing breaks on the floor, oh, you're angry. That's all. Now the rest of it, you've added onto it. And now I have to do that. And now this other thing will happen. And then they'll be angry. And then this, all of this is added on to the initial anger, you see? Well, if the anger's felt completely once and it's done with, then move on. Oh, well, I guess we're not having that for dinner. Any more ideas? Sweep it up, put it in the garbage. It's all finished, you see. There is a certain, we'll speak of one more thing. There is a reason within humans why they continue to keep the anger going. Keep it. And then that was ruined and this and that happened. And this is all from the first thing. There's an adrenaline rush. There's certain parts of humans where you feel very much alive when you're angry. You understand? Part of it is wished. You like it. I like to be angry. I feel alive. And even noticing that, it's not going to be so much fun anymore now that we pointed it out. But even for you to notice, oh, that feels good. You're bad and this is broken and that's done and this is no good and the day's ruined, all of that, you'll feel it. Oh boy, that feels great. Great energy. I feel alive.
Quite often it's a situation that an event happens and then something else happens on top of that. And then the third thing happens. And in the third thing in and of itself might be insignificant, but you're already wound up from the first two events. And then the third thing just causes the
But do you see what we mean by you like it?
I don't necessarily like it. It just, that's the way it's sometimes happening is.
You like the energy, the aliveness you feel. When you're angry, your face gets red and you'll feel your fingertips are on fire.
Oh, I wouldn't say I enjoyed that, but okay.
The next time you get angry, notice the one thing you get angry about and see if you could just feel the one thing completely. Dinner is ruined. The pot is broken. Oh, it's a good pot. Dinner, burnt, broken. And that's all. Beyond that is up to you. And you're not going to eat. And now we're going to be late. And the house is ugly. And the floor is ruined. That stuff is all added afterwards. That is all up to you. Now notice the next time this happens, if you focus your energy on the one thing, it's terrible, the dinner's ruined, sweep it up, put it in the garbage can, that's all, it's finished. Unless you want some more, then you'll go looking. Oh, there's a piece over there, it got stuck in my foot. And oh, all of this, those curtains I always hate those curtains. Now my socks are ruined and the dog is bad, all of it. You go searching more and more and more. This is up to you. This is up to you to decide if you want to continue it on and feel more energy. You have created a distance between your emotions and your mind. So this is why this is confusing to you. So the next time this happens, when one event happens, feel it completely. For this is an emotion that you have been afraid of being comfortable with, yes? You're not comfortable with anger.
Well, yeah, bad things happen when you get angry.
You see? You see how you have judged that? Someone has told you this. And yet perhaps it's just another human emotion like being sad. Do bad things happen when you're sad? Do bad things happen when you're happy? Do bad things happen when you're depressed?
I guess to reword that, I mean, if you let that anger take over and you start making reactions, or reacting to it,
yes.
And allowing whatever to happen, then it can get dangerous because then you start throwing the dishes because you've broken one and now you have more dishes broken versus just being able to just sit with the one thing and
sit with the one thing. Yes, you've got it there. Sit with the one thing and feel it completely. It's my favorite bowl. That's my favorite dish. I'm hungry now. I'm going to be, everyone's going to be hungry. Just sit with the one thing. For when you look up from that, you're going to find the other things. Sit completely in the one thing. Try this the next time it happens to you and notice whether you're completed, whether your anger is completely finished before you start looking around the room. Because if it's not finished, that's when you're going to find everything wrong with everything. Because the anger is not complete yet. And really, it's only about the dish and the food. It's not about the curtains and the dog and the socks. It's not about any of that. It's about this. Let it come out and be complete with you. You'll have to try this the next time it happens. And you'll be more aware, you'll notice. Is that good for you?
Yes, fine. I'll be more observant of that, but I'm thinking about it in terms of like transmuting it into some positive, and I usually try to think about, well, it could be worse. It could be, I could have had, I don't know, I could have dropped it on my foot and cut my foot. So then I start thinking about being gratitude of that so it happened, but it could have been much worse. And then it just seems to make it go away.
We have discussed this just a moment ago. By instead of sitting with the emotion, you judge it and try to switch it and go somewhere else. Instead of sitting with it. And what you're saying is, this is not all right. It's not all right for me to be angry, to sit here and cry on the floor when my favorite dish or my favorite food is broken and I'm very hungry. You say, that's not right. No, I'm going to pretend it's this or that. I'm going to move around. Instead of sitting here, this is what we have spoken of just a moment ago. It's all right to sit in it because you're a human being. It's not necessary for you to judge every move that you make, for then you're missing out. You're missing out on the completeness of the energy. You'll have to take our word for this.
Okay, no, I see your point. It's just a different reaction, or just reacting differently to the situation.
Let us do namaste together.
Okay. Namaste.
Well, it seems we are speaking of anger and sadness and stuffing emotions down. Is there others who wish to speak of this as well?
Well, I'd like to speak on the opposite.
What exactly is the opposite of emotions?
No, of actually riding that depression or riding that anger. Like you were suggesting earlier, the empowerment of anger,
Yes.
the emotion of sadness, and especially those two. So certainly I can relate to that. Maybe it's because I'm just a smaller guy that can't really hurt anybody if I'm angry. I don't know. But I certainly can feel I don't think I do as much now, but I do. There's an empowerment with anger, and so anyways, I think I just more understand that concept, and actually even depression. And I like what's said about that, and about just riding it through or letting it pass through. So it certainly makes sense to me.
And how did you learn this?
Observing, and then also seeing how silly it is to try to keep that anger, keep it going beyond its expiry date, its shelf life, where it no longer it just doesn't fit or doesn't work. I think later in life, I think those things that work when you're younger and able to keep that energy up, or there's actually an upside to it. It seems less and less as I go through this life.
And who is it that you watched? You said you observed.
Me.
So you have learned to step outside of yourself and look at yourself.
Yes, be the observer.
And who taught you that?
I'm not sure which wise man did, but it was certainly one of the many things that I've kind of examined over the years, suggesting to be the observer. Yeah.
Do you think a part of you knows all of this that is higher than your physical being?
Yes.
That's what we're getting at. We're getting at your divine self knows exactly how to get through humanity with a smile on your face.
Right.
There's a part of you that comes in knowing all things. And there are many humans who have a certain access to this. It's a curiosity. Do you believe yourself to be a curious human?
Yes, and peculiar.
I don't know this other word, but curiosity is important for those who are seeking peace and connection and love. That's how you stumble into truth. Because when you're curious, odd things come out. You hear voices. You can have certain impulses. You can see things as they're happening. You can feel others that are far away. You have certain information that there are many humans do not have. Do you understand what we mean?
Yes.
So that means you are particularly blessed to acknowledge this, because there are many who will not in this lifetime. They will not get close to this. And when a certain human being, and they are joined here with you together, the energy is all together here. When you start to acknowledge and understand that your blessed divine self is deep inside and it's welcome to come out, and you're curious about what it looks like, you want to come out, you want to check this out, we'll be open to all of this. Now there's a certain calling for that to pass through to mankind. And we don't mean it as a job. We don't mean it's another job you have to do. We don't mean this. We mean once you are aware of it, it starts to flow out of you. It's like taking the cover off some of the bubbly, bubbly drinks, and you shake them, and you take the cover off, and they all come out. It can't be stopped. Once you acknowledge your divine being, it bubbles out of you because it's joyous, it's happy, it's excited. What's going to happen? It's curious. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next is others are going to feel loved and blessed when you're around, and they won't know why. Perhaps strangers you're meeting in the street, they might smile all of a sudden or feel lighter. Because now you're doing more divine work. Now you're stepping up. You're stepping into humanity. This is how humanity will be healed. One human at a time, waking up. Your eyes have opened. Do you understand what we mean by this?
Yes.
So now that your eyes are open, you can't really close them. You can try and put these black things on your eyes and everything. It won't matter, because your eyes now are not truly what's bubbling out of you. It's coming out of the center of you, flowing out to others. Have you felt this? We are going to call it an ease. It is truly love energy. Have you felt it pass out of you? Not necessarily pass out of you. You'll notice it this way. Humans all of a sudden smile at you for no real reason. They feel close to you. Do you understand what we mean by this?
Yes. Yeah.
This is you doing your divine work. It's very easy. You don't have to do anything. You just have to stay in your state, your curious state. What will happen next? I wonder what's going to bubble out of me. I wonder what I'm going to bump up against. Oh boy, it's going to be good. I wonder what's going to happen next. And then mankind will be healed. Does this sound like to you your highest purpose?
Yes. Yes.
So truly, you, as the others, are moving into their highest selves, their highest callings. Just by waking up, all of a sudden things are clear. Things that you didn't give a second thought to, all of a sudden now make absolutely perfect sense. Life falls into this easy pattern. You're not quite at this, but it's coming next. Your life will unflow easily, and you will know exactly what to do next. Oh, well, I guess I have to go smell that flower, because there it is, and I can smell it from here. Over you go to the flower. What's beside the flower? Oh, there's a rock right here. What's in the rock? Pick the rock up. There's something written on the rock. This is how your life will be. Once your eyes are open, one thing, one thing, one thing. It will be so easy, and humans won't believe this. Humans do not believe life is easy. They believe it's very, very difficult. You have to fight your ego, fight the other humans, and get all the stuff you can get before they take it, all of this. This is the way humans have evolved on the earth, because that's the way it had to be a long time ago, but not now. We have spoken of this already. Now is the easier time for all of you. You have time to wake up. You have time to allow love to flow out of you to others who have no access to it in this lifetime. Not you. There are others who have no access to it. And now, by just sitting around and being curious and lovely and allowing your emotions to flow in and out, and setting your ego aside, just by doing these things, you will raise yourself to your highest potential, which is healing the world. Healing the world one by one. Does that sound like an amazing feat for you?
Yeah, I can't help but, I shouldn't say the word think, but is that along that way, I'm still liable to curse at somebody that cut me off, or and just observe that and just move on, right?
Yes.
So that's part of the journey.
And it might be funny. You'll say, oh boy, I sound like that old grouchy man I heard a long time ago. And I made fun of him because he was mean. And now I'm him. Ha, ha, ha. We don't really laugh very much. But that is what it also can be. When you notice it, then the joy and ease can come in. It can make fun of, or it can make any event easier. Or just the example of the broken pot in the dinner. Well, hey, does anybody want dinner? Bring a spoon. It's right here. See, anything can be made lighter like this.
Mm.
Is that good for you?
Good for me.
All right. Let us say namaste together.
Namaste.
Hi, Erin. I have a question. We talked about how unresolved emotional issues can turn into disease and pain in the body. Is there a way you can teach us to how we can alleviate those diseases and pains in our own body?
Yes, we're going to go over it one more time. Pay attention this time. Allow your emotions to pass through you easily without judging them. Allow them to pass through completely. If you're angry, be angry for all of the minutes. It won't go on for days. Be as angry as you can for that much time. So allow the emotions to pass through you. When your brain says you should not, as soon as it says should, really you're in trouble. Don't just notice that. Oh boy, I said that again today. I am not allowed to feel this way. It is bad when I feel this way. It is wrong when I feel like this. All of those judgments, they are not helping you. They are blocking your energy. So these are the things that block the energy. Allowing everything to flow through, the emotions. Now we will speak for a moment of allowing the love to pass through you, because this is tricky for you. So this is a slight variation on the discussion we are having. When love enters into you, in order for you to let it flow out of you, you must be vulnerable. You must be able to stand as yourself, your truest self, which is either I'm angry, I'm very sad, I'm oh so happy, jumping up and down, whatever it is, allowing them to see you as you are, no matter what it is. This is one of the most difficult things. We will speak of you precisely. Allowing others to see who you truly, truly are underneath, not the one that you have learned. You have learned many different ways to please humans. In certain groups, you are a certain way. In other groups, you are another. Before you argue with this, we will explain, because you will certainly say you're always the same all of the time. But what we mean is you have had to live through different events in your life where you had to become a chameleon to survive. So you are a survivor. Underneath everything else, you are a true survivor, and you will be surviving to the end of your days because you have honed this skill throughout your life. So this is what we mean precisely. We mean at different times of your life, you are different people, not this moment and tomorrow. We don't mean that. because that's what you would like to argue about, that now you're more consistently the same. But this pattern is still inside of you, this chameleon. And if you need to pull it out, you know that you can. Do you know what we mean?
Yes, I think I do.
All right. We will just say one more thing about it. It has been necessary for you to survive in the past, but now it's time to pull it out and have a look at it. Ah, it's you. It's my old survival friend. We've gotten through lots of things together. You've been wonderful, wonderful. But now it seems like I don't need you as much, but still you're here and you won't leave. You won't leave because I have told you, don't ever leave me. I might need you someday in an emergency. So now it's still in there. Do you understand? This is a certain darkness that you have. In the end, it looks as if you trust the future and you trust the world around you, but you trust it because you have a secret ammunition. You have a secret survival skill. You have it is truly like a lizard. It's a chameleon. You hold it and they can't see it. And sometimes you forget about it, but you know it's there because you've asked it to continue to accompany you through your life. Do you understand this so far?
Yes.
So now it's time for you to pull the chameleon out. And this is very scary for you. Believe it or not, it sounds, as we are speaking, you're thinking, that's easy, I'll do that, that's no problem. But as you pull it out, it has memories attached to it. It has all of the things that have happened to you that it has saved you from. So it's not just a lizard, it's a lizard full of memories. And each of the memories will have to be said goodbye to. Everything that you have survived, and now you think that the chameleon holds this magic, you will have to say goodbye to each event. For this chameleon hides along your spine back here, where you've asked it to hide. It can be invisible. It's a chameleon. Don't ever leave me. I might need you someday. Do those words resonate with you?
I think they do. Yes.
You have not quite got it, but you will. If you're able to listen to these words again when you are quietly lying in the dark, you will understand what this is about. This is about allowing this part of you to let go of this part of you that now you're starting to notice and wonder, do I still need this? Is it really in there still? When I told it to wait and wait and wait until I needed it again, did it stay? Because I can't see it, because it's back here where you can't see anything. You can't see things behind you. So it hides there where you asked it to. So now it's time to bring it out. Bring it out and say, I see you there. Come, we're going to speak about things now. We're going to speak about all of the things you helped me to survive. Because now I wish to be free. I wish to be free of darkness, dark energy that is slow moving energy. We don't mean evil. Don't take that word. You love it. We're not talking about that word. We're talking about slow moving energy. Slow moving energy is what causes disease. Fast moving energy is you're very happy, you're jumping around and everything's going fine. When it goes slow, it starts to freeze like an ice cube, and then it turns into disease. This is a bit complicated. Do you have any questions about it?
Yeah, you mentioned how to allow feelings to go through to prevent disease in the future. What happens if you had accumulated stuff in the past and you're carrying disease in your body now?
Yes, this is what we are speaking of. We are speaking exactly of this with you. This chameleon behind your head, you can invite it out. You can do it in your visualization in the dark. It's absolutely fine. You love this sort of creature anyway. So you can pull it out and say, hey, I know you're invisible right now, but can you turn into a different color so I can see you? And we're going to have a talk. It's part of you, you see. So you can absolutely bring it out and speak to it just as you speak to your ego and your brain. you may speak to these memories. It's the survivor. And this is the past memory. It's what you're speaking of. But we are visualizing it this way because it's important for you to see how it will stick right on the back of you with its hands. It's got good little fingers. It will hold on tight to you, just like you've asked it to. So now you're going to have a chat with it and say, I've changed my mind. My life is different now. But I appreciate all of these things. And then you'll be reminded of the things. It will say, remember that. You hate it, but you can sit in it. Remember this one, that's even worse. And you can sit in that. Don't be afraid of anything that has happened to you in the past, for it is just a memory. It's not happening right now. And that's what you can remind yourself. This is a memory. It's not happening right now. I don't need to have a physical reaction to it, but I want to see it. So come on out. Come on out, come on out. And as the layers come, you'll feel yourself getting lighter and lighter and lighter. For this is a burden that humans have decided they need to carry around all their old deceitful things with them all through their lifetime. And they grow heavy and weary and so tired. And when you reach a place such as this, where you say, how can I let go of heavy energy? Now you're ready to surrender to it. Before you ask this question, you're not. You just get heavier and heavier and more, and it just stays there for a long, long time. If you ask the question, it means you're ready to let go of it. So now you're asking to be healed, but it comes from yourself. You may heal yourself by surrendering to the memories and the emotions and lying there empty. And what's left of you when you are finished dealing and remembering and crying and being angry is your most divine self, your light, childlike, heavenly, divine self. That's what's left. That's what's left, and that's why it's lighter. That's why it's high, fast, clear energy, because that's what divine energy is. Then you become the universe of love, because it exists within you, but your human experience has slowed it down. Do you understand this?
Yes, thank you very much.
Let us do namaste together.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Aaron, is there any energy that...
We were just going to say, are we complete? Because we're trying to beat you to the punch.
I jumped in there before you could, because I knew you were going to say that. Quick question though. Is all disease stuck, slow energy, or can some of it be predetermined, that somebody needs a particular experience? So
no. Wait, this notion is incorrect. Predetermined illness? No. As you come into your life, you mean?
Yes. You're trying to, like, related to lessons, because so much of this work that people speak of, it's related to lessons. So I just wanted to circle back to that question, I guess, because I know you'd said this in the past, but yes. I'm just reinforcing this point then, that nothing that we experience, basically we have no need to be not in perfect health then, if we can reconcile energy. Is that right?
Yes. This is the perfect human, and there aren't very many or none. So that is why there's all this illness, sickness, anger, sadness, emotions, ego, all of this, because you're having a human time of it. You've got a physical body. If you weren't in the physical body, you'd be just straight up spiritual energy, clear, high energy. But because you're in the human body, you've got all these other things going on. And now you are able to deal with whatever comes your way by stepping back, allowing the emotions to feel the emotions completely, and allow them to pass in and out of you easily. Are we complete?
So all humans are perfect or not?
Yes.
Because you just said humans were, only the perfect human wouldn't have that. But earlier you said all humans were perfect, so I'm confused.
You're very meticulous with the words. Each human being is perfect, of course, all of the time. What we mean is by human standards. You would decide, are you perfect or are you imperfect? So by human standards, only this perfect, you would see it as a god, a monk that's on top of a mountain praying all the days. That's what you would say was a perfect human. So we are using human words here. As far as energy is concerned, you are all perfect.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. Thank you. I clarified something.
Are we
Do
complete?
you have a moment to answer one more question?
Yes.
Okay. I find a lot of times those other voices that you've talked about come up when I'm afraid to speak my voice about something.
Yes.
And it might be involved anger or something towards somebody else. Is it better to just say that to the other person, or just to deal with the emotion inside and just forget it and just move on? I'm always
That's a complicated question. Are you,
okay.
if you're saying ignore an emotion and say it didn't happen, never. That's what causes the blockages and the slow energy. Never to ignore that it happens. If you're saying, should I share my emotion with another human being, you have to use your instinct and look at the human being and see whether they're able to receive, and both ways, to receive and give energy and support. So there are certain humans where you can say, I feel very sad, and they can receive it, and they can come back with with whatever they want to say. Oh, I felt sad like that before too. And you'll say, oh, what did you do? Oh, well, I did this. Whatever the conversation is, it's an energetic exchange, but you have to do it with someone that you trust that's capable of doing an energetic exchange. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So you can't talk to a stranger and say, oh, you're stupid. There's no point there. It doesn't resolve or move your energy, because they're not receiving it coming back. And they'll say, oh, why do you think that? Well, this happened to me. Oh, did that? This is an energetic exchange. So in order for you, if you wish to do it with someone, instead of doing it by yourself, they have to agree to the exchange or know what's happening. A willing participant in the exchange. There are many human beings who are learning of this. Those that are gathered here know what we're speaking of. So these kind of humans you could do this with, but not to a stranger. That is unfair to them. They won't know what's happening, and it won't allow your energy to pass. It might compile it. Does that answer the question?
Not really, but that's okay. I was more meaning of like almost like sticking up for myself or somebody else.
You made, all right, let's be more specific here. So by you saying, I am this person, if you say it to someone who does not understand energy, they will say, so what, who cares? Then you're not going to feel better. Are you going to feel better? You're going to feel worse. Do you know what we mean? Yeah. So no matter who it is, there are some humans that they just will not be able to receive this. Always you can use your intuition. You're very comfortable with intuition. So you may use it to decide, are they able to have an energetic exchange with this human being or not? If you're not, you're going to have to do it alone. Or find another human being who you can do it with, who's not the one that you're mad at, and they can pretend that they're there. You see, you don't have to do it to the actual person if they don't receive it. So sticking up for yourself sounds like a very human word, doesn't it? Words. I'm going to stick up for myself. That sounds like your brain or ego speaking. Now, but what you're really not saying that. That's what you used for words. But what you're saying inside is, I feel a certain emotion and I wish it to come out. You're thinking in your mind, well, the only way that will work if it comes out towards the person that I feel it towards. But if you can take that a little bit further to the way that we have described it, it's going to get worse unless there's somebody that is in energy that's willing to exchange energy with you. It's important for you to know it's not just you putting your energy out. They're not going to say thanks, bye. Something's coming back. Maybe they'll say thanks, goodbye, and that will be it. But that will not be the full circle of energy. That will be you throwing it out, and it doesn't go anywhere. You are capable of processing these with your higher connection with the universe than you are getting into some sort of egoic fight with another human being. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You have access to more and more healing and methods that are happier, more easy for you than getting into fight with human beings, trying to tell them, you know, I'm really wonderful. They'll say, no, you're not. Yes, I really am. You don't understand. I don't think you are. And it can go on and on like this. And it doesn't, you don't get what you're looking for because you're coming with an agenda. In your mind, you're thinking, I'm going to say this, boy, and they're going to say this other thing back. No, they're not. They might not. It's all imagination from there on. So you can't control it once it's out. Is that more confusing now?
No, that's good. Thank you.
All right. Are we complete?
I have one more question.
Oh boy.
Yes.
To be very short.
I'm pushing my limits tonight. I'm just thinking about what you're saying earlier about energy again. So just to come back, another question. So in the case of a newborn, like a relatively newborn baby that has leukemia, let's say, and the baby's had no opportunity to experience the world, it's not engaged in any way, and yet has a major disease upon being born. So how does that energy manifest? How does that disease manifest?
As a newborn comes in, you have an option always of leaving. You don't have to stay for this entire human experience. There are many small ones who leave. This is a particularly touchy subject for those that are gathered here, though. This is not, we will leave that at that.
Okay. Is that the same in the case of somebody that has what we would call a genetic defect, like I'm thinking of like spinal muscular atrophy, where they have, as they develop, their muscles don't develop properly, but so they're not going to die from it, but it's limiting them in their life.
Yes. These are the most divine human beings that you will encounter. Those who are willing to set an example for others. This is a different divine purpose. This is a whole different topic. We may discuss it with you at length some other time, but these are divine beings who do have an agenda of sorts, but it's quite complicated.
Okay, that's good enough. That summary is great for me. Thank you.
All right. We are complete. How is that?
Yes.
So we will namaste together, then we will hear the double.
Namaste.
Namaste. Aren't you glad you sat back on that one?
Oh God, yes. Oh my God.
Stop the
I think we
recording.
still